All right, guys, what's up? I'm here with a pushing session. I did this session yesterday. I'm kind of like filming and uploading these videos like the day after I do them. And you're probably wondering like what death contraption am I like trying to get myself into? This is a type of like I guess resistance band system one can use to help them with handstand push-ups, right? So it's like I'm doing band assisted handstand push-ups, and this thought just like randomly came into my mind when I was like, man, I really want to do more calisthenic stuff in my pushing movement. So what can I do in order to be do something like calisthenics vertical pushing movement that isn't just pike push-ups? And I looked up online and I saw this type of thing here, and because I'm a lot heavier and my shoulders can't push over 180 pounds, I'm relying on a lot of assistance from a bunch of bands, and it does look a little sketchy, the way like my feet are on there hooked around the bands, and I'm kind of like leaning backwards a bit. But over time, I am gonna have to probably just fix my form in general. It's probably best that like you know how to hold a handstand for a good couple of seconds, maybe, just so that this is more comfortable. Overall, for each set, 3 sets, I only did manage to do like 4 reps, but that's still within like a good amount of like hypertrophy range, or of course, getting strength as well. And that's the thing about calisthenics. It's like when you are heavier, things get harder, right? When you are doing push-ups and you are like, let's say 160, you could probably do like, I don't know, like maybe 15 good push-ups in a row or 20 good push-ups in a row, depending on your strength level. But then let's say you weigh 180, now it feels like you can only do like a good like 10 or 10 good push-ups, like good slow push-ups. Another tip for these handstand push-ups: put your hands kind of like not right under the bar, but like slightly in front of it, like, in front of the anchor point. So that way it's like you can have that space to lean back a little bit. And of course, you want to be more comfortable with doing like a kick up. So, of course, just practicing handstands in general and kicking up, that's going to help a lot. And the reason why I said like I wanted to do more, type of like overhead stuff, like but with calisthenics, is because it's like I want to try and focus more on like just like I said in my previous video, I want to try and focus a bit more on like many different ways of training that might not be specific for one thing but can hit a lot of areas. And just that, that will just kind of make things more fun, more intriguing, and I feel like I might be working a bit more towards something. So that way, with me doing these assisted handstand push-ups, I am kind of working the handstand position a lot more. Sure, my form might not be the best, but over time that is going to improve, and my strength is of course going to improve. And I believe that that movement is going to have like a lot more carryover to an actual handstand press than, like, let's say maybe me doing an overhead press. Of course, the strength is going to carry over, but when I'm doing an overhead press with weights, I'm not really kind of spending that time, upside down, trying to balance out on my hands. Even if I'm getting like help from the resistance band by like wrapping my legs around it, still I feel like it's still transferable, right? And then it's more accessible because I guess you would be using cheaper equipment. Let's say if you did want to do like handstand presses, and one might be thinking, like, why not just, keep doing pike presses and then elevating your feet over time? I'm sure that still helps. I know it still helps from, like, all the other progress of people that I've seen, and, achieve handstand push-ups just by doing pike push-ups. But I feel like, again, it's not as specific as getting in that actual upside down handstand position, right? And this is like that type of movement is for people who can also like, or who can't do like, let's say, wall assisted handstand push-ups, right? I've been trying to do wall assisted handstand push-ups, but it's like I'm only getting assisted from the wall. The wall isn't pulling me up or helping me reduce my body weight. So it's like I've always been kind of like not able to do them outside of like maybe 2 reps, if I like could manage to do it, but that would be at a lighter body weight. Another thing too is with me bulking, right? With me being at around in my high 180s, this is probably the heaviest I've been in a while. Except for like maybe that first year of training where I got up to like I think my 190s or so. And with me trying to get into my 190s, I was still fresh. I was still pretty new to the grindstone. And, I didn't have as much muscle and strength as I do now. But with me getting into the high 180s, approaching my 190s again, I can see that I have a lot more muscle. I have a lot more strength. And I have just a lot more knowledge about, how to train, how I train, and what things do, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like my own philosophy of training has changed a lot within those past couple of years, because then at that time it was kind of like do as much as you can to get as big as possible. And I still want to get big. That's the thing. Of course, getting bigger muscles is always intriguing no matter what you're going to be doing. But now it's just kind of like I want to explore, I guess, more options. I want to try out different things. I want to see different modes of training. Of course, I'm still sticking to like a lot of my core exercises, like those ring tricep extensions I just did. I've been doing those almost since day one of my training. I've did them ever since I got rings. I've been doing tricep extensions. Of course, I'm still doing stuff like sit-ups, but just different variations of sit-ups. I'm still doing push-ups. I'm still doing dips, right? All these basic movements that I'm doing. It's just kind of like now I have a little bit more of a reason to do them. And it's also interesting to see like with me at a heavier body weight and maybe me not doing as much as like weighted stuff, but more just body weight stuff as to how I can become stronger and adapt to my own body weight. Because I guess you can kind of think like, when you're bulking and you're doing calisthenics, it kind of is like you're doing like weighted calisthenics. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But yeah, since you're like gaining weight and you have more weight on you than you did last time, so therefore it's like, I don't know, because then I kind of think like, let's say me at 165 doing like 15 or 20 rep dips, and then me at 186 or 188 doing like, I don't know, like 10 rep dips or something like that, or 12 rep dips. Am I stronger than 165 me, or is 165 me stronger because it can do more reps? I'm kind of thinking maybe no, because it's like, that's, I would still be stronger because I have bigger muscles and I can move more weight. But I'm not really doing a lot of weight training in general besides like maybe sandbag training. But interestingly enough, I guess because of the added weights, I do feel my strongest when it comes to sandbag training, since I am lifting an external load, right, instead of like moving my own heavier body around. So, that's also one thing to consider. And of course, me having a lot more strict form on my movements, like a lot more strict form on my push-ups, on my dips, pull-ups, etc., chin-ups. I, of course, am achieving like less reps because it's like I'm being kind of more strict on my form, especially as I get heavier, because it's like if I'm just kind of like just throwing myself around, not really paying attention to how I'm moving, with the extra weight, I can be more prone to injury. So that's also one thing to consider. Anyone out there who is bulking or, trying to gain more weight, you want to be a lot more careful with your movements because you could be more prone to injury. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one, and peace out.